and peoples. Hope everybody's Oscar's making. Oscar took the puppy out to make pee-pees and poo-poops. So anyways, howdy everybody. Welcome to the Longer Wade good old-fashioned recovered channel from the dead. Recovered from the dead? Yes. So today, I wanted to talk to y'all about, I was going back, I'm not moping about what happened this summer, but I am trying to fill you all in because it's been since 2011 when Longer Wade started this channel, talking third person. I have never stopped YouTubing at any point in time since 2011 when I started, the end of 2011. And then I did stop. Is that the camera stand up there? Y'all right up top there, old buddy. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know if that's working. Oh, hang on here. Whoa, stop, Gerber. Whoa, Gertie. All right, Gertrude, we got her. So anyways, so I'm trying to catch you all up. I don't have to catch up. I've done been there and done that. But I'm trying to catch you all up with what happened this summer and kind of why things went about as what they did. Let's talk about today. I want to talk about the den. Excuse me, old buddy coming through there getting big for. He didn't know about it. I don't know if I want to hear it.
Are you okay? You need to have, I hear you've been missing your boy today.
Well, where's he at today?
Oh, you talked to him last night. What did he tell you?
I haven't heard.
Oh, I haven't either. Robert. Maybe you needed help. I didn't know.
All right. So anyway, I don't know who my brother is. I got a lot of brothers out here. They're all my brothers and sisters. So anyways, let's start out back in April, May, June, May. Let's start out in May. So in May, that's not a veneer there, man. I'm gonna take her to the mill, old buddy. So back in May, the den had got some problems with it. And then Robin, well, this is right after the blow up and the big fist fight and all the crap happened there, and then the blow up at the sawmill. But right after that, right in the middle of that, I'm dealing with that. The PLC went out of the double end trim, but I didn't get the memo, so I kept fighting, spending a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there, trying to fix it. It was actually running. We could hold our tongues right and get it to run, but the backboard on the PLC was just burnt. So, but we didn't know that at the time. So I'm trying to fix the double end trim and trying to learn how to grade lumber and trying to get the mill crew put back together from the toxic freaking mess that it went through. And in the mix of all that, then this den computer went out. Now that den has a Perkins engine in it. It's a 321D, and it had a Perkins engine in it, and well, yeah, it actually did. It was past tense. That thing did. It's still in there, but there's not much left of it. But it had a Perkins engine in it, and that Perkins engine, I think it's a European manufacturer. Well, in Europe, you know, things tend to be more technologically advanced and more, for the lack of better words, chintzy. So what actually happened, hindsight 2020, after taking this thing apart 3 freaking times, we come to find out that the pins was messed up on that. They got this the chintziest little multi-pin connector I've ever seen going on to the daggone motor this. And if you're watching this, Perkins, yeah, I like the motor, but my God, man, I don't know if you got these little Chinese kids working on this thing or what, but big old American fat fingers can't deal with that in that application. So y'all might want to, you know, strengthen up your plugs a little bit, because we ended up going through hell. We got put a second computer on that Perkins and everything else before all this was over with. It was a debacle. And of course, then the operator's getting frustrated, and I don't blame him. And he was getting to the age where he could retire, semi-retire, and do what he wanted to do. He'd been working his whole career to get to that point, and he said, you know what, I'll just go ahead and semi-retire. Well, it worked out good for him and everything, but it was a mess for me. I was like, oh man, that's one more key individual that we're losing there. And he was key. He's very intelligent, very good man, very good worker, and very good work mentality. I mean, there was nothing that this guy, it was one of the guys, it's one of these guys you just dump more and more on because he can take it. And he's not happy unless he's getting it dumped on him too. You know? So he left, and then I told Mama, and meanwhile we got the pewter fixed and got it up and running and stuff. And we started using around here a little bit. And I told Big Mama, I said, you know what? I said, since he's gone, where'd Mommy go? Mommy's around here somewhere. Where'd she go? I want to run her over to the daggone loader. But since he's left and stuff, I said, I got some work to do. It had some leaks on it and stuff. And I said, I want to fix these leaks and fix this thing up, and we got some farm projects we need to get done this year, in 2023, and so we'll take it to home, work it on to the home. We'll take it to the home and work it on to the farm. So that being said, it was at home, and I'd work on a little bit on the weekend, haul rock and stuff like that with it. We'd use it around, and then I'd wrench on a little bit on you know, on my spare time, which I didn't have a lot of, but on what I did have, I wrenched on that thing. Well, one Sunday in early July, I had greased the crap out of it, did one of these good multi-tube greasings, you know, where you grease it up real good. And the reason I'm saying this is because this become part of the story. But I greased the thing up really good, parked it for the weekend, and then went to work in the mill all the next week. And then that next Saturday, my niece and goddaughter got married. And she got married on a Saturday evening. And her family was down, and they stayed at the guest house for the wedding, and kind of a wedding party and a place to put the wedding and stuff, and party and all that mess. Well, Saturday morning, I worked Saturday, and the reason I'm bringing Saturday up is because Saturday was the day this event took place. Saturday morning at 10:25, my in-laws, my sister's in-laws was getting ready for the wedding and having their stuff go on and all that good mess, and there happened to be an electrical storm come through. And they did ping or whatever on the internet or however they do that, but the insurance company figured it out. It was 10:20 something in the morning, and this electrical storm come through and hit. And Dad said he was in the field. He said, I remember when that hit. He said it freaked me out. He said it was close, it was loud. He said, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go back to the house and get in the house. He said, I never dreamed it struck the excavator. Well, that lightning down there struck the din-din, and that thing went up in flames, and nobody knew it, nobody recognized it. My in-laws seen or my sister's in-laws seen the smoke down there, but they actually thought somebody was having a controlled burn or something like that in the forest down there, and they never thought twice about it. Well, that thing burnt the whole night of the wedding. We come in after work. I come in, got ready real quick, and never looked out in the sky to see no smoke or nothing like that. Never thought about it. Come in, got ready real quick, and we all left, and everybody went to the wedding. Had a great night and everything. Well, 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, so it'd been almost a full 24 hours since the strike that nobody knew about. I go down in the Jeep, you know, I drank a little bit, and my head was a little foggy. But I go down, I had the hose, the last hose, it was the last leak on it. I mean, it was getting in tip-top shape. So I went down and changed that hose, and when I drove down and seen, I'll never forget. It was horrible. I did not know what to think. It was still smoldering. I never recorded nothing. I was dumbfounded. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But it had burnt for 24 hours, and this thing burned so hot, it had an aluminum river underneath it. It had an aluminum river of stuff running underneath it. Oh yeah, Jason. Oh, we got it. All right, I'll get it. I'll get it too, old buddy. There you go. Don't say it. Yeah, but it had melted in aluminum river. I mean, this thing got so hot, everything aluminum on it was gone, and all the steel. I mean, it was. And there's a hose, the main boom lift hose, the actual hose that did the lift on the main boom bottom cylinder, exploded. The lightning hit it and it completely exploded. That hose is sprayed into, I'll try to show y'all pictures of it. If I can get back sometime in the daylight, I'll show y'all pictures of this thing where it exploded, that hose, and then just fire like you can't imagine. And it was, but now since then, we went and we found us a new din.
Fine job, Chris.
Right by. That's almost as good as Larry did, wasn't it, Matt?
That was better than, yeah.
Someday, if he keeps it up, he might be almost as good as Larry.
Yep, as long as Larry keeps teaching.
Well, I was gonna say, Larry probably holds back just a little bit so you can't pass him, okay?
Yep, so you plateau.
Yep. But anyways, we got us a new din. We went down there to right by Washington, D.C. Me and Levi went out, and I'll show you some pictures. Tater, take them back to the man cave. Show them some pictures that me and Levi on our trip of reflectance. I got to spend a trip with my boy, and it meant.
I gotta dig on the chips for a second.
Okay, is there logs up there I can sort while you're doing that, Matt?
Yeah, up along the west side of the ditch here, and there's 4 more veneer up there in that pile I didn't grab, and then there's like 3 way up from that low use grabbing on.
Alright. I can jump out and take up this other load then. I'll get out of that then.
Alright, I'll be over here in a minute.
Anyways, take them up there, had a great trip. Me and Levi went down, and I said, bring your trunks, boys. So he brought his trunks. Now, I had this thought up before we went on the trip, but we get there, and we crawled down into New River and went swimming. And I had the biggest fun with my boy swimming in New River down there in West Virginia at the New River Gorge. But here, I'll get off here and show you all some pictures of it. Thank you, guys. Well, I actually went through my my phone, and I didn't have anything on it. I think Levi took some pictures, but I didn't take a single picture. I was like, I'm so over sharing and all the stuff right now, and I'm just crawling in my little hole, and I didn't even take a picture with my own son. I think all the pictures is on Levi's phone. But we went to New River Gorge. We drove like a man. It's hard to explain how I'm not trying to paint it up like some kind of mistreated soul here, but we left, the morning we left, ran till we got done with the cans. We ran till 10:30 in the morning, run cans to the sawmill, and then jumped in the car, took off, and me and Levi headed for basically Washington, D.C. We went all the way to Washington, D.C. that night, pretty much. I mean, like within a half hour, 45 minutes of Washington, D.C., we just drove and went. And then that night I said, we'll stay in a daggone cut and stab motel down there and get up early in the morning. And I think we got there and got parked in the hotel at 12:30, and then up the next morning went to see the Den Den. And this guy turned out to be, oh man, not trying to sound arrogant, but some people in this world gets into something and then they go to sell their way out of it. And if you're one of these horse trading mentality types that'll make little white lies and try to sell somebody a duck and convince them it's a chicken, you know what I mean? This guy we went and looked at the Den Den on, this guy that sold this thing, man, he was just, ugh. But we turned out we did good. We got the machine, and me and Levi jumped right in the car, front of the machine, jumped in the car, and headed back. And I told Levi, I said, let's, of course I had in my mind I wanted to stop the New River Gorge, and I wanted to spend some time with my boy. I want my children to see the stuff. It worries me that how fast we live our lives here now, that I'm not going to have the opportunity to be a good dad to my boy and make sure that they come up right and they're good to this world. You know, not little jackass, little entitled little turds. You know what I mean? So, and I don't want them to have insecurity issues because they didn't get to spend the proper time with their dad. So I said, when we left, I said, bring your swimming trunks. I got an idea. So when we come back, we went and seen the bridge and drove all down through the mountain there and stuff and got all down the bottom, across a little wooden bridge down there at the bottom. It's got a wooden bottom to it, I believe. Cross that, went over, got in the water, and of course, I was waiting for somebody to get kind of cranky and whiny because me and my boys down there playing in the rapids. Well, we got down in the water. I mean, got in the water and went swimming. And then rafts and whitewater rafters had come through. Me and my boy be out there swimming and stuff. So we went swimming, and me and him just had a blast. He splashed, acted goofy, done stuff, and just squealed like a damn little kid. You know, had a blast. We get done. We get in the rental car. Dry off. We brought towels. Dried off and started down the road. And I was just wrapped up in a towel, started down the road, drove through Charleston, West Virginia, stopped in Charleston, and ate supper. We all dried out. We dried out enough to where we could throw a shirt on, go in, and eat supper to Golden Corral or something like that. Me and him sitting there eating supper in Charleston, West Virginia. And I looked at my boy and I said, I know we've ran like crazy yesterday and today so far, but why don't we just drive ahead home? And he was all for it. He said, I'll keep you awake, Dad, if you want to. So we got on the road and freaking beelined it for back home. And we left the evening before at 10:30, the morning before at 10:30, drove all the way through the night and stuff to Washington, D.C., looked at that Den Den the next day, drove back, swam in the New River Gorge, jump in the car, eat supper, and drive all the way back home. I think we was on the road, in 2 days we was on the road like I don't know how many hours. 16, 18 hours or something like that. You know, it's just a wild amount of time we was in the car. And then got home, got up next morning, went back to work on Saturday morning. The Den Den. Let's get in the Den Den. The Den Den was badly burnt. We've been back and forth to the insurance company, and I tell you, when you have something like this go on, you need to know, my advice from this situation is to make sure you're squared away with your insurance company what is covered and what you're paying for. We got a great insurance provider and all that stuff. We was paying for a package that we had screwed up in our head, thought was covering something different than what it was actually covering. And through the mix of it, of course, by the time you're if you're working on a machine like that, and you have a machine go down, and this happened in the middle of all that mess, and then you come to find out that you wasn't covered the way you thought you was covered. You didn't have that plan made, basically. And it ain't nobody's fault but your own. It ain't nobody's fault but our own. Ain't pointing the fingers at nobody. But when it got down to it, it was like, what? You know, we thought we had kind of like replacement insurance. And we didn't. We had like cover what you had, like a car wreck insurance. So it gives you insurance for what you have. The value of what was destroyed after farting around for daggone months, because the insurance company going to try to, first thing they're going to try to do is throw you out a trickle check. I mean, they'll throw you out that check, and then of course you're like, oh man, that ain't, you know, well, are you broke enough you'll take it? You know, it's what's a shitty way to do business, but that's their business, not mine. But then you're like, man, do you realize what this was? You know what I mean? And then they'll think, well, well, yeah, we'll go back and try it again. So they go back and they, here, would you take that? Oh, you won't take that? Oh, well, it's you know, next thing you know, and they'll drag it on as long as they can. They don't care how hard up you are or how bad you need a machine or how hard everything's going or whatever. They're going to drag it on to make sure that you take the littlest check as possible. And then by the time it all got said and done, we finally settled. And then we went ahead and got a loan. We had to get a loan for a machine because it had screwed up. Anyways, but if you ever get, if you're somebody out there that's paying big for a machine, paying a lot of insurance for a machine, and something happens to that machine, you better not be in no hurries, because the insurance company, first thing they want to do is drag it out. They got the money, so they want you to drag it out to see what kind of a small check you'll take. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh man, right in the middle. And of course, when we done this then, you know, went through the in the past and stuff. A lot of you's watched my videos for a long time, and you look in the past and you see how much effort, how much work that we put into this thing, and time spent on this thing, and then next thing you know, it gets struck by freaking lightning. Are you kidding me? And then the guy that come in and inspected, he's like, well, usually they got good continuity to ground. He said usually a lightning strike on an excavator is not much of a problem because it just goes right to the ground. But he said, I don't know why it couldn't get continuity to ground. And I said, I just greased the dog crap out of it the weekend before. And it hadn't moved. I got done greasing the crap out of it. I mean, like a 3 or 4 tube greasing job. One of these good greasing is, you get in grease everything. Get done greasing, swing it around, park it, shut it off. Next weekend, she's burnt to the ground. So I was like, you damned if you do and damned if you don't. I greased the son of a buck and took care of the daggone thing. And in doing so, the lightning had no continuity to ground. Are you kidding me? So anyways, the guy that did it, he said, go look at that hose. And I ain't got a picture of it, and I ain't gonna take the time to get a picture of it. I'll finally put a picture of it up for y'all. But the electricity went down through this hose and somehow couldn't find what it wanted, or what, I don't know what happened. But the hose exploded. I mean, the hose is not burn up, and you know, like there's all the hoses are burn off of it, and they're all just burn up nice and fine. But the end of this hose went kabloom and exploded, and the end of the hose is a rat's nest about this big of the wires of the wire layers in the hose. It's about this big. It just went whoom, blowed the bottom out. So I don't know, but that's what happened with the din. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good one, and don't forget to smile. Later on.